On the Justice Court, the plaintiff, Rodiat Ayomide, is asking the court to compel a baby daddy to continue to take responsibility over their children.
All rise. Court in session. Honorable Judge Fumi Asaolu presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, this case is between Rodiat Ayomide and Ibrahim Morikala.
Thank you. Rodiat, you brought Moritala to cause. You brought Ibrahim Moritala to cause. Why? Can you tell the court what's going on? What happened? We need an interpreter. Hold on. You have to speak out.
He was
one that is virgin her.
Firstborn pregnant.
And with that, she was able to have the firstborn for him.
So the more I 3 years.
She was with her parents when she had the baby, till the baby was 3 years old. Because he was living with the elderly one.
Elder brother. Is it elder brother or sister?
The elder brother.
He was living with his elder brother.
Yes.
At the time she had the baby.
Baby, yes.
So, but your mom was 9 months. But your mom was 9 months. So, she monthly.
So when the baby was 9 months, she had to look for work to do for about 3 months.
So, but 3 months, 1 year, salary, fashion design.
So she used the salary of that work to learn fashion designing. And at that time, the baby was already 1 year plus.
So, but fashion design, 3 years.
So at the time she was done learning fashion designing, the baby was already 3 years old. And the mother had to advise him.
Whose mother?
The woman, this woman's mother, had to advise the man to get a place, like an accommodation to stay, that she can't continue like that.
She can't continue to accommodate the woman.
The woman and the baby.
So he has to get...
He has to get an accommodation.
Okay. So and stop living with the elder brother.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So at the time he had to get a room self-contained.
When was that?
2017.
2015. 15. Okay. Go ahead.
So,
stand straight.
Àwa jọ ń gbé pọ̀. Owó mi náà ni mo tún fi ra machine tí mo fi ń ṣiṣẹ́. Torí kò fún mi lówó tí mo fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ tí mo fi ra machine náà kò fún mi.
After I was able to possess a self-contained for the two of them to cohabit, she said she was the one that also purchased the sewing machine that she's using to work by herself.
Ìgbà tí màá tẹ̀ ṣáàjọ ń gbé, a gbé fún 2 years. Mo wá lóyún second, ìgbà ọmọ first born mi ti pé 5 years. Mo wá lóyún second born mi.
She said after 2 years, she had another pregnancy of the second born.
Kí tó lóyún yẹn, mo ń disturb ẹ̀ pé kó wá lọ rí family daddy mi, kó wá lọ sanwó orí mi. Ó lóun ò lè lọ jalè, òun ò lówó.
She asked him to pay her dowry, but he said he doesn't have money yet to do that.
So, mo wá ṣàlóyún second born mi. Mo wá bímọ second born mi yẹn. Gbogbo ìgbà yẹn mi tètè fura bí torí supplier ló ń ṣe. Gbogbo ìgbà yẹn ó bí kó ní ó fẹ́ wá já granite fóun lóru. Mi mọ̀ pé ó wá ti ní ọmọbìnrin tó ń tẹ̀lé. Ọ̀dọ̀ ọmọbìnrin yẹn ló máa lọ sùn sí.
So she said he's into supplies of gravel and building materials. So as at the time, she said she never knew he already had someone he was going out with. And at the time, she was already pregnant with the second child.
So mo ṣáà discover ìgbà tó wá ó ṣáà ọ̀rọ̀ ya ṣáà wà lẹ́nu ẹ̀ fún 2 years tó fi maltreat mi tó jẹ́ pé màá tún bẹ̀ pé tó wáyé pé mo ṣẹ̀ ẹ́ kó dáríjì mí á ní
So
mo
that
ṣẹ̀ wọ́n.
continued for about 2 years, and she kept on begging him to tell her her wrongs, but he insisted that she never offended him.
So ìgbà yẹn ọmọ ẹ̀ gẹ́ẹ̀ tó ń tẹ̀lé ẹ lóyún ó mú gẹ́ẹ̀ lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ fámìlì ẹ̀ ó lọ fi mọ àwọn òbí ẹ̀ ó dẹ̀
After a
tẹ̀lé
while,
gẹ́ẹ̀ náà lọ sí ìlú ẹ̀.
the concubine was impregnated and was taken to his family
Did
members.
she say he impregnated another lady?
Yes.
Okay.
So he took the lady to his own family to present as the person he wanted to marry.
So ìgbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ṣáà ti sún mi tó yẹ pé ojoojúmọ́ mi kì í sùn ẹkún ni mo máa sun ó wá ní ọjọ́ kan ó jáde kò sọ fún mi ó lo 1 week ìgbà tó máa fi dé padà ó wá kó aṣọ dé ó wá ní kí n fọ̀ mo wá ní pé mi ní fọ aṣọ yẹn ó wá ní tó bá bí ìyá mi dà kí n má fọ aṣọ yẹn.
So she said at a point he traveled for about a week without telling her where he was heading, and when he got back, he brought all his laundries and expected her to wash them. And she said she cannot wash it because she's not aware of his trip. So, and he threatened her that if she is well trained, she must wash them.
He dared her.
Ìgbà tó tún bọ́ta nulẹ̀ ó pe mọ́ ẹ̀mí ó ní òun káṣọ dé o ọmọ yín sọ pé òun ò ní fọ̀ mo dẹ̀ sọ fún tó bá bí ìyá ẹ̀dá kó má fọ̀ mọ́ ẹ̀mí wá ní ṣé èmi náà ló ń bá ṣé nítorí mo ti máa ń wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ ó kọ̀ tí kò mọ́ ẹ̀mí létí.
So after that scenario, he had to call the mother to report what happened and still dared and still make the same utterance.
So ìgbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí dẹ̀ ti ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn tó ti pẹ́ ó ti ń jẹ́ nǹkan fún mi mo wá mú aṣọ mi mo káṣọ àwọn ọmọ mi mo ní mo fẹ́ lọ rẹ́ẹ̀sì lọ́dọ̀ mọ́ìmí. So ní gbogbo mo gbà tí mo ọjọ́ Saturday tí mò ń lọ sọ́dọ̀ mo ó pè mí lórí fóònù pé níbo mo wà mo á ní mò ń lọ sọ́dọ̀ mọ́ìmí ó dẹ̀ sọ pé Ọlọ́run ṣeun mo á wò pé èwo tún ní Ọlọ́run ṣeun bẹ̀. So ìgbà tí mo dọ́dọ̀ mọ́ìmí lọ́jọ́ Saturday tó máa fi di ọjọ́ kejì Sunday ó pè mí lórí fóònù láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù ó ní òun ti da ẹrù mi síta pé tó bá yá mi màá wá kó òun dẹ̀ ti ṣéǹjì kí ẹnu ọ̀nà torí kí mi wà lọ́wọ́ mi.
So on Saturday, while she was going to her mother's place with the children, he called her to know where she was, and she said she's on her way to her mother's place. And he said, thank God that she's already living by herself. So on Sunday, he called her to tell her that he has already evacuated all her stuff from the house and thrown them outside.
Torí ó ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ pé tóun bá ní mi lára dáadáa nulẹ̀ tí mo bá lọ òun máa poison mi dànù lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí.
So she said
Torí ó ti fẹ́ lé mi.
he has once strengthened her that if he threatened her very well, that she would by herself pack out of the house, and if she insisted to stay, that he was going to poison her.
When was that?
That was 2019.
No, last year. So gbogbo àyè tó fi ń threaten mi mo sọ fún mọ́ mi ló ń ṣeré ní pé kò lè ṣe nǹkan kan mo dẹ̀ rí tó ní mí lára tòótọ́.
The mommy said maybe he was playing, that he's not serious about it.
Níní lára tó ní mí lára ẹ̀ mo mọ̀ pé ó ti fẹ́ jẹ́ kí n lọ lèmi náà fi wá lọ pe wẹ́dà nígbà tó ṣéǹjì kì í mo pe wẹ́dà kí wẹ́dà bá mi ṣílẹ̀kùn yẹn ìgbà tí wẹ́dà wá ṣílẹ̀kùn mo dẹ̀ kó ẹrù mi tó kù mo wá kó bọ́ta.
So she said after the threat was much, she had to call a welder to help her break the door.
Ó ti kẹ́rù mi síta ó ti ṣéǹjì kì í.
Okay, at this time, our loads have already been thrown out of the house, and she has changed the key to the house.
Mo wá notice pé kò kẹ́rù mi síta tán.
So she noticed that her luggage were not totally evacuated from the house.
Mo wá lọ pe wẹ́dà wá bá mi ṣílẹ̀kùn yẹn.
So she called on a welder to help her unlock the door.
Mo wá kẹ́rù mi tó kù tí ò kó.
So she packed the remaining luggage.
Comfort, luxury, style, class, tranquility, and nature. The ideal home for today's game changers has all these and more. Looking for more? Then look no further than Master's Villa. An ultra-modern luxury estate nestled in the very heart of the Lekki Peninsula. The avant-garde architectural styles of our homes and villas reflects a lifestyle that is both exclusive and intuitive. So, are you looking for more? Then look no further than Posino Homes and Gardens. Call us today on these numbers. Posino Homes and Gardens, your choice today.
So ìgbà tí mo wá lọ so àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀ láti ó fẹ́ parí ẹ̀ síbẹ̀ láti ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ ti ń fẹjọ́ sùn wọn ò dá sí i ìgbà tó ti wá di pé ó ti fọwọ́ rẹ̀ kẹ́rù síta ó wá fẹ́ parí ẹ̀ pé kémi padà mo wá ní mi lè padà torí ó ti threaten mi kọjá bí mo ṣe lérò lọ.
So the family members were actually trying to settle the case at the place, but she said while she was having all those problems, they were aware and they did nothing about it until the time he by himself threw away her things outside of the house. And she said she's no more having the peace of heart to stay with him any longer, that she wants to go.
So mo ṣáà lọ sọ́dọ̀ mọ́ìmí mo wà lọ́dọ̀ mọ́ìmí ìgbà tí mo kúrò ńbẹ̀ second term school ni àwọn ọmọ mi wà so ìgbà yẹn wọ́n ṣáà wà nílé tí second term fi tán ìgbà tó máa fi di third term mo pè é pé àwọn ọmọ fẹ́ wọlé school ó dẹ̀ sọ pé ò lówó mo ní láti lọ sanwó school àwọn ọmọ yẹn fún third term yẹn àwọn ọmọ yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ school.
So she said during this time, the children were already at second time in school, and while they will resume the third term, she actually put a call through to him to pay the school fees, but he said doesn't have money. So she said she was responsible for the third term school fees also.
So ìgbà tí third term tán tó fẹ́ wọ first term mo tún pè é lórí fóònù kò mọ láti February ẹ̀ kò mọ báwọn ọmọ yẹn ṣe ń live kò mọ bó ṣe ń lọ school mo tún pè é nígbà tó fẹ́ wọ first term mo ní àwọn ọmọ yẹn ti fẹ́ wọlé school ní pé owó school fees wọn mo tún ya bíìlì ẹ̀ sí kókó má dàbí pé mò ń parọ́ àbí tó bá dẹ̀ wọ́n kó máa wá san fáǹtì ẹ̀ kó wá san mo yá sí i ó dẹ̀ sọ pé òun ò lówó kí n má pè òun mọ́ òun ò lówó mo gbà ẹ́ mò ń ṣiṣẹ́ oṣù so gbogbo owó oṣù tí mo gbà àti owó àjọ tí mo dá 53,000 lówó yẹn mo dẹ̀ ní láti lọ sanwó àwọn méjèèjì yẹn ní school.
So she said when it was first term of the second session, she called him to tell him to pay the school fees, and she even went as far as snapping the bill over to him so that he would be sure that and be convinced that truly that is what the situation was. But rather he said he doesn't have any money, that she should sort the bill. So she said from the money she got from the work she was doing, the salary work she was doing, she was able to gather it together with savings to paying up the first term school fees.
Sum of how much?
53,000.
53,000 naira.
So láti ìgbà èmi náà ni mò ń tọ́jú àwọn ọmọ torí àwọn ọmọ yẹn kọ́ wà lọ́dọ̀ mọ́ èmi mo máa ń fún mọ́ èmi lówó ra gbogbo nǹkan nísìnyí iṣẹ́ mi níṣẹ́ tí mò ń ṣe for now torí mo ti kúrò níbi iṣẹ́ tí mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀.
So she said she's been the one sorting the children's welfare and everything, though they are staying with her mother, but she's been the one taking care of the children. And now she doesn't have any work she's actually doing because she has lost the previous job she had.
So ìgbà yẹn tí mo sọ fún mo ní mi kó wá máa ṣètọ́ lóòótọ́ èmi àti òfẹ́ra mọ́ kó wá máa ṣètọ́ lórí àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ kò dẹ̀ dá mi lóhùn ó ní òun ò lówó òun ò ṣe kinní kan èmi nìkan dẹ̀ ni mò ń dá mo tún tírẹ̀sì ẹ̀ ń gbà yẹn pé màá gbọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀ lọ sí woman right ó ní kò sí nǹkan tí woman right máa ṣe fóun ń pé ibi tó bá ti wù mí ni kí n lọ mo dẹ̀ wá gba ẹ gan mi ìfẹ́ lọ sí woman right ìgbà tí mo wá padà rí pé mo rí kọ́ọ̀tì yìí wò lórí Facebook mo fi ń pé kí n wá sí ibà
you saw this court where? You saw the call
Facebook.
Facebook.
on
She
Facebook.
saw it on
Okay.
Facebook. So she said after all the scenario and she lost her job, she called him to come and do his rights on the children, to own up to his responsibility over the children. But yet he was still not responsive enough over that. So, and she threatened him that she was going to take the case to human rights, that truly they are no longer in any relationship at the time, but he should please come up and put the responsibilities on ground. But he was not responsive. He even said, even if she reported the case to the human rights, there's nothing human rights could do.
Òun máa lóun ò lówó.
They will still
Wọ́n
tell
dẹ̀ lè
them he
pa
has
wọ́n.
the money.
Okay. Are you true?
Yes, ma'am.
The plaintiff, Rodiat Ayomide, got pregnant while dating Ibrahim and moved in with him after delivery. Despite several requests she made to Ibrahim to perform marital rites and give their relationship a meaning, she claims Ibrahim was nonchalant and gave series of excuses. Now, Ibrahim has decided to engage another lady as a second wife. Rodiat claims that because of this development, Ibrahim frustrated her, threw her belongings out of the house, and eventually stopped providing upkeep for their children. She is in court to seek redress.
Thank you. My name is Ibrahim Moita. Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé a pàdé ní like 2011.
What happened was that we met in 2011.
A dẹ̀ ń bá eré wa lọ.
We were
Like
going
in
on with a relationship.
2012. Olóyún.
In 2012, she was impregnated.
Oyún yẹn ó dariwo lẹ̀ gan-an.
It caused a lot of
Ṣé pé
issues
mọ́mí ẹ̀ àtẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀ wọn ò fẹ́ ká fẹ́ra.
that her mom and the
Bọ́lá
elderly
wípé
one never wanted them
àṣírí
to
tara
stay.
sí. Aṣágbà pé a máa fẹ́ra.
Because of love, they stayed together.
Because of the love we have for each other,
They are for each
they
other.
were able to stay together
Yes,
and
despite-
overcome the challenges of the fact that they were not having support from our family members with respect to their relationship,
Yes,
right? Okay. So that was 2012.
that was 2012.
They started dating 2011.
They met
Then she took in 2012. Okay.
Ọlọ́run wá padà ṣe ó lóyún ó bímọ ní 2013 March.
that God helped her. She was pregnant and she gave birth.
Ọ̀rẹ́ wa fẹ́ di
In
pé
March.
kí la fẹ́ ṣe kí ni kan.
You have to be forcing him to interpret.
Okay, Mama.
The two of you can't be talking together at the same time.
So she took in and she gave birth March 24th, 2013.
2013. Ó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ wípé ìjọ́ kan wà, èmi àti baálẹ̀ bá dórí yẹn, a jọ wà gan, bàbá yẹn máa ń rán mi iṣẹ́. Wọ́n wá pè mí, mo rí, mo ní sà, ṣé wọ́n lo fọ́mọ ìyá yìí mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀? Ó ní wàá fẹ́ yàwó mi o.
So he said at the point, the ballet of Badore had an encounter with him and asked him that, was he the one who married?
Whether he is the one that married this lady.
Yes, this lady, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and the man said, if that is true, that he would have to have another wife.
Why?
And he
Wọ́n á ronú pé
Why? You didn't ask him why?
I asked him,
So what did he
mo ní
say?
why? Mo ní bàbá kí ló dé? Ó ní ibi tó ti lọ fẹ́ yàwó yẹn, ó lágbára o.
He said the man responded that where you've gone to marry from, that place.
You already had a child together at that time.
We have not have we have a child. One bẹ́ẹ̀. Mo wá ní mo kàn fẹ́ rí ọ bàbá yẹn mo fi ṣe àwàdà mi ìdá ọ lóhùn.
So she
Torí
said-
mi àti ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ara wa dáadáa.
He said he trivialized that man's statement because of the love they had for each other.
Mi ì sí kí n pé mo lè níyàwó mi.
He said he never thought he could have another wife.
Àwa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ àníyàn lọ. Tírẹ́tì ìgbà yẹn pẹ̀lú èmi àti mọ́mí ẹ̀ ó wà lọ́kàn mi.
He said what happened during the time they were courting, that the mother was against their relationship, was still so much in his heart. But because of the love she was showing him, actually dissolved that.
He disregarded
vengeance
that.
And disregarded it.
Ó wá tún ní bàbá kan náà tó máa ń gbé àá méjì. Bàbá yẹn náà kọ́lé sádùúgbò wa. The same thing tí bàbá yẹn sọ, bàbá yẹn náà tún sọ fún mi.
So there's another man also in their area who actually said the same thing the baale said, that
You have to marry another
that he
wife.
needed to marry another wife because
Àwa àmọ́ àmì ṣáà ń gbọ́ pé eré làwọn bá yẹn ṣe jàre.
nǹkan tó fà á lọ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Mo ò béèrè but later mo padà béèrè kí bàbá yẹn tó kú. Àwọn méjì ti kú sí.
He said he never asked the second man why he said that, but he eventually asked before the man passed on.
He said the two of them have passed on now.
He said the two of them now have passed on.
Ó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ pé bí ó ṣe wà ẹ̀rú sef lágbà lóòótọ́ but mo ò jẹ́ mi kò lè sọ pé mo jòun lówó oúnjẹ ẹjọ́ kan. I'm paying 1,000 every day during that time, 2013, 2014.
So truly they got a one-room self-contained, and he never wore a day feeding allowance.
Kò dẹ̀ sí ká má dáná every
There's no day
weekend.
that they don't cook at the weekend.
Àwọn ọmọ mi tí mo tọrọ fún àwọn méjì, ìyá àgbà yẹn tó bá jí ní 6 o'clock ká bá kírun tán, á sọ fún yín pé ebi ń pò òun.
So the firstborn often asks for food at any time he wakes up or she wakes up.
Ìgbésí ayé wa ó rọrùn, á
Their
tọrọ
life
jẹ o,
was
but à ń
quite
wà òkè.
sophisticated. They never begged, but they are okay.
Tó bá kọ́ àwọn ọmọ mi wá sí gbogbo ilé àwọn máa béèrè pé aṣẹ́wó náà lọ́lọ́run bùn lọ́mọ yìí, báwo lè ní wọn tọ́jú? Ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
So if they bring their children down here now,
The children are well taken care of.
that they're well taken care of. Yeah.
Ọmọ mi school tó kọ́kọ́ lọ school tọmọ yẹn ti change iye first born yẹn sì school yẹn á ti pé bí 5.
So the firstborn had changed schools about 5 times.
Mi ì rán rí wípé bá mi béèrè lọ́wọ́ mọ̀lẹ́bí ẹ̀ kọ́ fún mi lówó kówó school yìí.
And he has never asked her to ask her family members to support him in payment for their
Can I ask you a question?
school.
Have you stopped paying for the children's school fees now?
Right now, yes.
When did you stop?
I stop around in March.
Why did you stop?
The reason why the movie stop ni wípé ìjọ tí Olóhùn fẹ́ tó kówó kó lé yẹn tó sọ pé mo lọ síbì kan mo travel lóòótọ́ but èmi àti ẹni issue mi ì dábèrè fún mo dẹ̀ lò 2 days. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi kan ló ṣe wed mo lọ síbẹ̀ aṣọ tí mo á wọ̀ dé yẹn ni mo kó kalẹ̀ pé bá mi fọṣọ yìí.
Said truly they had issue at the time when he traveled for about a week for his friend's wedding ceremony. So the clothes he brought back home, the laundries, were the ones he used for the 1 week wedding ceremony program.
Wá ní aṣọ wo mo láṣọ Olóhùn ò ní fọ o mo ní tán bá bí ẹ̀dá má fọ.
And he said when he returned back with the laundry, and she said, "Which clothes are you asking me to wash?" And he pointed out the clothes he brought back from traveling, and she said she's not going to wash it. Then he
Said you dare not.
he dare not.
And he said you dare not.
Yeah, he said you dare not
not.
wash them.
Mo wá bọ́tà òun náà mọ̀ onínú máa ń bínú bọ̀ bínú mi ò gbà pé kí n máa ń nẹ̀ bá ti bínú bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ti lọ mo ti pa àsúnlé.
So she's also aware of his temperament that usually flares up, but then that doesn't mean he would raise his hands against.
Ajá lẹ́ẹ̀mejì afẹ́ra bóyá bíi 8 years ajá lẹ́ẹ̀mejì òun ló fi sọ pé má kí òun.
So in the 8 years relationship that they have enjoyed, they only fought for about 2 times.
Ọ̀rọ̀ obìnrin ọkọ tó sọ yẹn ọgbẹ́ second wife mi tó sọ yẹn lóòótọ́ ni.
So it was true that he had a second wife.
And before everything open to anybody, you are the first person tí mo kọ́kọ́ wake up pé ìyá Ọ̀ṣídà dìde. Because I think that I'm a man, I'm a family man, and I need to control my house. I can control my house without anybody. That's the reason why I call her. Oh yeah, I want to tell you something. He said, what? I want to have another wife.
He said before he disclosed to any other person, he informed her first by waking her up in the middle of the night to disclose the secret he's been hiding from her, that he wants to have another wife.
Àgbà tí mo wá sọ fún níjọ́ yẹn, ó ní báwo lè jẹ́ àṣà sọ̀rọ̀ àsùnpadà. Bàtà àsùnpadà like 4 days, 5 days, ìyàwó mi à ń ṣe normal, nǹkan kò ṣẹlẹ̀.
So after telling her, there was no incident happening.
Mo kàn rí pé mo á lọ bí iṣẹ́ ìgbà tí máa dé, attitude ẹ̀ change. Mo wá gbé nǹkan kan bí mo ra plantain dé àmì ọkàn, àwọn ọmọ mi wá sáré pàdé mi kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ó ṣàǹké kí ló dé ní nǹkan tí mo ṣe yẹn náà ni.
He said after about 4 to 5 days, he was coming back from work and he noticed that her mood changed, her attitude towards him changed, and was crying. And he actually asked her that what was wrong. And she said it was about what you told me the other time.
ìgbà tí mo ti sọ fún tán yẹn máa ń lọ súnbẹ̀ bá wọ́ súnlé ẹ̀kan lọ́sẹ̀ máa ń súnbẹ̀ mo ṣáà rí pé attitude ẹ̀ ti change gan gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ṣe mọ́ ó wá di kó ń gbé mi sí condition.
So he said it took a while before the second wife took in, and every time he goes to visit the other person, that he only spends a night outside.
A night
in a week
with the second wife.
Yes, and he comes home and he noticed that her attitude has changed completely towards him.
As this matter is unfolding, Ibrahim claims he has been responsible for the upkeep of Rodiat and their children. He said as a Muslim, he's entitled to marry more than one wife. But despite having 2 children with Rodiat, he did not properly marry her before going to engage another lady. He also claims that he has stopped providing upkeep because Rodiat no longer lives with him. This case continues next week.
Ó parọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń sọ pátá ló parọ́ nù ẹ̀ tó bá lè jẹ́ kí n gbogbo ẹ̀wọ̀n pé èmi mo jẹ́ nìkan tó yẹ pé mo máa ń gbàgbé kan bọ̀ bó ṣe ń sọ yìí kọ́ ni màá sọ gbogbo nǹkan tó sọ kalẹ̀ irọ́ ló pa.
You will not be able to come inside that house again. If you come back, I'll give that ruling that you cannot enter the house. It's about the fact that you did not accord all the entitlement of a first wife to her. It's not about age.
Have you been cheated or have a dispute and want justice? Don't take laws into your hands. Log on to www.thejusticecourt.com and submit your case.